I'm sorry I can't be with you in person today as we launch the latest in the Issue in Brief series, jointly published by the Migration Policy Institute and IOM's Regional Office for Asia and the Pacific. Maritime migration is a worldwide issue, with crises ongoing this year in the Mediterranean, the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden, as well as in this region, the Bay of Bengal, Andaman Sea, and Straits of Malacca. I was glad to have the opportunity to write about this issue for the series. When we selected the topic back in January, I think it's fair to say we did not know quite how timely it would be. I don't need to go over with you the history of the events of this spring and subsequently, or the numbers of people involved, as I'm sure you're familiar with them, and other speakers will cover the highlights. What emerged for me as the strongest lesson of this episode was the importance of strengthening regional mechanisms for cooperation on migration issues. It was only when the government of Malaysia, acting in its capacity as the chair of ASEAN, called a meeting of the foreign ministers of Malaysia, Thailand, and Indonesia on the 20th of May, that movement began toward a cooperative regional response. That momentum was carried forward in the special meeting on irregular migration in the Indian Ocean convened by the Royal Thai government on May 29th. The meeting produced not only an agreement on disembarkation and processing of the migrants stranded at sea, but also elicited offers of assistance from other countries within and beyond the region, from the United States to Turkey to Saudi Arabia and the UAE, and more. The role of international organizations active in this region was also crucial: IOM, the UN High Commissioner for Refugees, and the UN Office on Drugs and Crime. With this precedent in place, there's an opportunity to make greater use of regional organizations such as ASEAN and the Bali process, to follow up and build upon the aftermath of the May 29th meeting, to put in place procedures that can respond to, or more hopefully, head off future crises. It's important that such procedures be flexible, since every situation is different. It's important that they be based on evidence and solid analysis of regional migration patterns, and take account of the lessons of experience, including the experience of the last few months. Relatively few of the countries in the Asia-Pacific region are parties to the UN Refugee Convention, but almost all are parties to the Convention on Safety of Life at Sea and the protocols on human trafficking and smuggling to the UN Convention against Transnational Organized Crime. Most countries in Southeast Asia are members of the International Maritime Organization and the Bali process. This framework provides a sound basis for regional cooperation on irregular maritime migration and puts the focus on saving lives and countering smuggling. Maritime migration will and should continue as Southeast Asia grows, but it needs to continue in legal channels that are safe for both migrants and the countries receiving them. Again, I'm sorry that I can't be there to participate in what I'm sure will be a stimulating and substantive discussion. My work on maritime migration continues, and I hope to be in touch with many of you as it progresses. In September, MPI will publish a book on maritime migration, which I hope you may find useful in your thinking about the issues. Please look for it on our website, www.migrationpolicy.org. Thank you, and best wishes for a productive session.